topic about a leader that has influenced us is Greta Thunberg. Let me introduce you about Greta Thunberg. She was born in 3rd April 2003 in a city of Sweden. Greta made a difference by writing a book on environmental issues. Her book name was "No One Is Too Small to Make a Difference." Besides this, her family also wrote a book which was known as Seen from Heart. Why Greta Thunberg is our topic as a leadership example? She was very young to raise her voice against climatic changes, and let me give you some brief history about her medical issues as well. She was diagnosed as Asperger's syndrome. She talked in TED Talk. She told us about her issue of Asperger's syndrome, which is a category of autistic disorder, autism spectrum disorder (ASD), in which children usually have behavioral changes and children usually show the traits of autism which are not affecting the intelligence and intellectual issues, but they face difficulties in behaving in the social environment, and they also become very sensitive to environmental changes. This was the landmark. This was a point which changed Greta's life, and that put a great impact on world. The moment she started in 2011, when she got to know about the climatic changes in 2011, she stopped eating, she stopped taking meals as a protest about environmental changes, carbon monoxide poisoning, and the greenhouse effect and decline of and the rise of global warming. So she, as a protest, she stopped eating, stopped taking meals. Her parents ignored her. Then she started protesting outside her schools. Then she started protesting outside the Sweden Parliament. And her movement gained popularity by each passing day, and the movement spread so far that it became a million march movement. The students from all over the world joined the movement. They used to protest on each Friday outside the parliament in order to make some environmental changes so for creation of new laws. So the students all over the Europe and Western countries joined the movement. And Greta won many awards. The highlighting one is Ambassador for Conscience Award.
Yell.
As I talked in previous slide, I gave her introduction about Greta. Let me continue. Greta is famous for talking about climatic changes. What were her leadership skills? Let me describe her leadership skills. What make her a good leader? What made her movement a great movement on in which all the students over different countries united joined her movement and become a united movement. Her skills were putting people together. She was a very good speaker. She used to speak English, and most of her speeches were very influential. The other traits of leadership characteristics in her were perseverance, patience, integrity, and straightforwardness. I will give you the example of integrity later on. Who was the inspiring factor for us? She was inspired by Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks, do you have any idea about Rosa Parks? Who was Rosa Parks?
No.
Rosa Parks was the first lady who resisted against the black and white issues in US. She was the first lady who refused to give seat to a white people just because she is black. She was the Western people who were having African origin were being called names and were being put down by the US people and the white people living in US. So she was the first lady who resisted against this, and she was very famous for this. And after that, the history you know all. Many people joined the movement, and then Western people learned how to give equal rights to the citizens. So Greta was very inspired by Rosa Parks, and her movement regarding climatic issues were being inspired by the movement she started. I told you about giving an example of integrity of the leadership skill. Greta sailed to US for attending a conference in UNO, and for that purpose she didn't fly to US because the fuel used in jets were creating carbon monoxide, which is adding more poison to the atmosphere. So so you have listened about leadership integrity. That walk the talk. What you say, you have to practice and follow. So for that purpose, she traveled to America by using a boat, sailing boat, which was not creating carbon monoxide poisoning to the environment, and she proved her statement by practicing it. public speaking. She was a very good speaker, as I told you initially. Now I want to share a video of 1 minute clip that how she used to speak.
When the politics and solutions needed are still nowhere in sight. You say you hear us and that you understand the urgency. But no matter how sad and angry I am, I do not want to believe that. Because if you really understood the situation and still kept on failing to act, then you would be evil, and that I refuse to believe.
So, your diary. Let me finish the presentation. How Greta and her family helped. Because she was an environmentalist, she used to go at any opportunity she get to bring her voice on a higher level and make government to change the policies regarding the climate. And for that purpose, the clip was from Climate Summit, World Climate Summit in 2019. For that purpose, she was awarded by many awards as well. And she is the daughter of an opera singer, and her mother and family also adopted the same changes. They stopped traveling to different countries by airplanes, and they started traveling by cars or sails by boats. And her mother is no longer using airplanes to fly. Thank you for this.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. But if we just look at from the point of view of leadership perspective, so has she, she has given very good presentations and everything. What actually she has done for the huh?
For those who are suffering.
Yes, for those who are suffering. And is there a group of people who are actually following her and doing the same thing as she is doing? Because leadership is all about leading people to do to work for a cause.
As far as I have studied her, basically she was very young when she realized the issue. She was just 8 years old, and then she, due to a medical issue, she was also very much sensitive towards the environmental changes. And she realized the problem. She started sensitizing people towards it. She started advocating it and creating a social difference. So for that purpose, her influence was very great. She used to collect a large number of students for raising voice against the same issue. And since she is still 18, 19 years old, so we hope that she will bring further changes and continuing her leadership skills to bring further changes for the climatic change.
So what recent changes she has actually done through her advocacy?
In 2019, India is the largest climate change movement में participation over 1 million here. This is where she started the entire, lobbying and inviting people. So the largest congregation that happened was 1 million people in the US. They were all there. Now with these efforts, the understanding of the global warming and climate change, countries have put this issue at the top of the agenda. At least now we have countries that are saying they want to go to zero emissions by 2045. These countries that have announced and put this point on their agenda that they need to sustain this world in order to live for the future, and this is where the entire movement.
She's a part of this.
Sorry, she's the part. She's the pivotal part. The idea behind this example was that leadership is not about the age or a position or an authority that is sometimes provided to you. An 8-year-old has sometimes alien qualities that brings that person to a certain bigger cause.
This is what my point is. If you are discussing her as a leader, so she must be doing something where people have started following her. So this is what leadership is all about.